Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. Okay.
Whoa.
Adjusting all my
did you want to close that window for this? The tricycles are really loud today. Super loud. Or maybe
it's kind of muggy.
You like
I
'em.
don't care. I'm fine. I can kind of ignore them.
I know, but we're recording this.
Right. I will. Do you want them closed?
Okay, if you hear a lot of screaming, can we close it?
Yeah.
If there's a lot of screaming.
Yes.
Tricycles, I don't care so much about.
I don't know if we're picking up the tricycle noise.
Not yet.
Okay. All right. Well, you just give me the word if you want me to shut that over there.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, I'm just going to check our levels.
Okay.
Want to say something?
Something.
Yeah, it actually looks pretty good.
Hey, wonder upon wonders.
There we go. Now we get. How's your headphone level?
Good. It's kind of mussing up my hair, but that's okay.
Is this gonna be like a day where there's just constant nonstop complaining?
No.
Just kidding. Actually, your hair does look a little pushed down by the headpiece.
I adjusted them differently. Hang on.
She's got kind of a foof. She's got a foof. A historical foof. Right? Historically accurate foof.
Historical.
Yeah, I wish I could show everybody your purse. Actually, your purse rocks.
Okay.
Yeah, don't you think? I mean, it does rock. It rocks.
It's a little rocky.
It's at least as good as a rock. And I like rocks.
You can't really carry much in a rock unless you go to an immense trouble of hollowing one out and putting a clasp on it.
You know what's really bizarre about the fact that you just said that? You just said something premonitioned.
Are you buying one of those hollow rocks to keep your spare key in?
No.
Oh.
But I had a spelling word for you that also I was going to...
Rock? I can totally spell rock.
Yeah. No.
What? Oh, what is it?
Please don't interrupt
I'll
me.
try. I can't. You know I have a problem.
Okay, I have to look up the word. I can't remember it. Wait a minute. Someone wrote it down.
Should I introduce the show while you're looking it up?
Sure.
You guys have tuned in to 11th Hour Radio, coming to you live from South Royalton, Vermont. Royalton Community Radio, WFVR LP 96.5 with Christina Stikos and Emily Howe.
Okay, I got it.
Good.
Ready?
We don't. Get my pen if you're going to make me spell something.
Yeah, we don't usually start off the show with a spelling challenge, so I know your brain needs a little bit of time to kind of warm up.
Okay.
Okay. Piddock.
What?
You heard me.
Piddock?
Piddock.
I don't even know what that word means.
Just spell it. You don't have to know. But as a clue, it relates to holes in rocks. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Pit.
Piddick. Piddick.
Pid.
Say it. Just say it.
Piddick.
Yeah, you got it.
Is it like pie dick? Or is it like...
No, it's like
Pittick.
paddock. Piddick, paddock. See, I just give you a big clue because you're a farmer. So
is it
a farmer?
Pittick or pittock?
I gave you the big clue of paddock.
Fine. Pittock.
Could you spell paddock for me, please?
Paddock.
So how do you spell piddick?
Fine. Piddock.
You know, I give you an inch and you don't
Sorry,
take it.
I don't understand your hint.
You could have had a whole mile, but you didn't take it.
Well, look, I wrote it down 6 times.
Okay,
differently.
So I think we've settled on the spelling.
What does this mean? It means a hole in a rock.
Piddock, right?
Yeah.
It's a creature that makes a hole in a rock that you see on the beach. So if you're at the beach and you pick up a beautiful little rock and it has a perfect hole in it.
Why do they make these holes?
Because it's a place, it's a mollusk, and the mollusk has a way of carving out these holes, and then it likes to go in there. It's kind of a safe place.
So it's really small. How is it able to carve a rock if it's that small?
Because they have sharp little claws.
They have claws?
I don't know.
Are they doing it with their face or something?
No, this part I'm making up because I don't actually know. So it's either claws or teeth, but what else could it be? Elbows?
I don't know.
Just don't worry about it.
Okay, it's sort of...
You piddick.
Bewildered
I'm going to start
now.
using it as a kind of I don't know. It's not... It sounds a little
hole in a rock
offensive.
carved by some random mollusk's body part? Seems very Shakespearean to call someone a piddick.
It does, doesn't it?
Yes. Fie, I bite my thumb at you.
You piddick. you mere piddick.
Oh. Well, whatever, because the holes that they put in rocks to hide your spare keys in, those rocks aren't really rocks. They're like fake concrete ones, and they're molded that way, so. You know what, though? But even better than the rocks that you hide your spare key in are the fake dog poops that you hide your spare key in. Like, you can buy little rubber dog poops.
Yeah, you can.
What if you pick up the wrong one?
Just because you can doesn't mean that you should or that you have to, right? So even though the plastic things are available for you to buy at Walmart, you do not have to buy them. It's sort of optional.
True.
Right. Okay.
But you know what? Along those same lines of hiding things and valuables and the beach... Do you know how when you want to go walking on the beach, but you don't want to carry all your junk with you? You want to leave it someplace, but you kind of are worried that someone's going to steal your wallet or your camera or your keys or whatever?
Right, sure.
Because, you're wearing like a bathing suit or whatever and you don't want to...
I would call that a third world problem, generally.
No, here's what you do, people, and this is actually good advice, and I do it all the time.
You're not at the beach all the time.
No, but when I go to the beach, I've done this before. I saw it someplace. Although... maybe it's not going to work anymore now everybody knows about it. You bring a disposable diaper with you, and you wrap your valuables in the disposable diaper, and then you just fling it on the top of your beach blanket, and no one will ever touch it.
That's brilliant.
I know. But I'm afraid now that everybody knows about this, people are going to go around stealing, like, dirty diapers.
Where did you figure it out? I mean, did somebody tell you, or did you make it up yourself?
I saw it on Pinterest, like, last year.
You see everything on Pinterest.
And then I used it.
Everything that works about your life comes from Pinterest.
No. I was a late sell to Pinterest. I just barely got on it, like, a year ago, and all of my other sort of mom-ish friends have been on it forever.
Yeah, I kind of like it. I kind of go every once in a while. I just find myself there.
I like it too, except for the stupidity of like, here's how to put your hair in a ponytail.
Well,
you're like, what? You need to be told how to do that?
I think it kind of overwhelms me. Pinterest overwhelms me. It's a little too much. It's too much beauty. Like there's all these beautiful, like food looks good there and flowers look good there. And, like, craft projects look really great. They look really easy.
I know.
And I would love to live in a Pinterest world.
Cakes seem to actually work.
They grow. They're not even made by human hands. They're
perfectly frosted. They must be photoshopping those cakes a little bit. Even when I make, like, a really good cake, it doesn't look like a Pinterest cake.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I made the snake cake for my kid's birthday a couple years ago that I saw on Pinterest. It's just 2 bundt cakes, and you cut them in half, and then you stick them together in like a curvy snake shape, and then you frost them. And I did a wicked good job with it, but it still didn't look like the perfect Pinterest snake cake. Whatever, it tasted good. They liked it.
Well, you should not set that as your goal. You should set it as, once you have that basic idea, then you just make it your beautiful, crazy looking cake. You know, that's the difference between hoopla and hoo-ha.
No, I told you hoo-ha is a private part.
But can you see that's where the confusion came in? I figured it out driving down here today. I have all these incredible thoughts that just show you my IQ is pretty high. Right?
I wasn't laughing at you. It's just that I think the exact same thing half the time. I'm just like, woo, I'm so crazy. I must be really smart.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely a kind of a relationship between hoopla and hoo-ha, and why anybody's brains that would bring those two together.
I didn't create the word, Christina. That's just just another slang expression for,
I don't think it is.
A vagina.
No, I think it isn't really. Because I haven't come across...
just walk around and say hoo-ha to people and see what they do. Because they're going to they're just going to be like, what? Why are you saying that?
I might just try it. I might just try that suggestion you just made. Just because I have nothing better to do but walk around South Royalton saying hoo-ha. But anyway, hey, the horse and the donkey are back together.
They've always been together. What are you talking about?
No, they were missing each other for a while. I mean, I think that just the horse was there.
No.
Where was the donkey?
They're always together. That's Fast Freddy. They're always together.
Well, there was I don't know.
Maybe one of them was like...
At the vet. I thought we talked about this. I thought we talked about it. And then remember. We segued to talking about your uncle's draft horse that's always alone.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I thought that they're always together. That's why their purpose is to be together. That's why there's 2 of them.
Okay.
You mean Barbara Cohn's brown horse and little donkey right on 110 at the outskirts of the village? Of course,
that's who I mean. That is the horse and the donkey.
Didn't you meet Barbara? She came to our house for dinner one time. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think you made mac and cheese.
Surprise. Of course I did.
No, I don't know what you made. I don't have that good of enough of a memory.
I thought that Barbara reminded you of your mom a little bit because she's British.
Oh, yeah. That is possible.
Does your mom have an accent?
No, she got rid of it.
What?
She rid herself.
In your time?
No, I never heard her with an English accent. She got rid of it in
Did you even hear her,
Canada.
Fake one?
No, she would never fake one for us. See,
you can't get rid of your English accent.
I get. I don't
think you can.
You can. She was sent during the war to Canada, so she was sent away from the war zone. She went to Canada and went to high school, and she wanted to fit in with the Canadian high schoolers. So it's
really hard to lose an accent.
Well, that's that.
Doesn't even creep in a little bit now.
Easy come, easy go. Huh? No, she did. No, it never creeps in. It does not creep in even a little bit. But
even when she's not quite all there now.
Yeah, no, she's she talks pretty precisely. She uses good grammar as opposed to some of us.
Don't look at me like that.
Right, so I was looking at when I look at you, it's like I'm looking at myself.
Okay.
So I was really just
You use pretty decent grammar.
Self-aggrandizement, I think is what they call it.
And you use fancy words like piddick.
Yeah, I did want to talk about humble bragging.
Okay.
Have you heard of that?
No.
Have you heard of humble bragging?
What?
Humble
that's like a thing?
You can say, oh, that's a humble brag. It's a terminology.
Oh, no, I haven't really, I guess.
Yeah, so I actually went...
Wait, I think you have a tick on the back of your paper. Wait, flip it back 1 page.
Oh, that would be great. At least it's not on me.
Okay, now tip it up.
Is it?
No, it's just like a crumb of granola or something.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank you for checking.
It just looked like a tick from over here.
You would say that's an 11th hour tick check right there.
Yep.
Check all your papers. Make sure they're not getting sucked on.
I haven't really seen any ticks in the last couple weeks, have you?
They're supposed to get better.
But then they're going to get worse again in the fall, right?
It's been like that every year.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
As a landscaper crawling under bushes, I can tell you that I just don't think about it until I have to.
All right. Continue with your humble brag.
Okay, so humble bragging. Just want to explain what it is because I didn't know what it was. I think it's just a very cool thing. So here's an example of a tweet. And when you humble brag, you're basically saying something, like the, what do you call it? The subtext would be like, I'm so pretty. Here's an example of a humble brag. Quote, I am featured in People's Most Beautiful. What can I say? They all make mistakes. But did the shoot with no makeup, and I have to say, scary. Get it?
So it's like self-deprecatingly...
Well, sort of pretending.
Pushing your...
Or like, I'm so vulnerable, but actually I'm really just telling you I was on the cover of People magazine. Or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or here's another one. This is a tweet. A twittering tweet. Okay, quote, I'm wearing a ponytail, rolled out of bed from a nap, at the bar with with my guy, and guys are still hitting on me. Like, really?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Who twits these things?
Wow, this is the big Twitter world that you're not really a part of. I guess it's where celebrities and people do a lot of tweeting.
Are they doing it because they're so confident, or are they doing it because they really have self-esteem issues? Why would anyone who's so incredibly famous and sought, like, even have self-esteem issues? But I know that was a stupid question. I know everybody has self-esteem issues, but
yeah, I think social media.
You guys want to just step into my shoes for a little bit? They're so like they
don't. But don't you think that we do it too? I mean, don't we do that on social media?
I guess, but I don't have a lot of things. I only have a couple things in my life that I'm super confident about that I can actually state with certainty that are good. Everything else, I'm a little like always putting my toe in the water just to test, but.
I guess, when I look at how I use social media, I can see that, it's half about sharing and it's half about showing off what might be cool about my life. Like, I have a recording studio. This is really cool. Look how cool I am sitting in my recording studio.
It is so cool. You don't do a lot of look how cool I am sitting in my recording studio.
Well, I mean, it's because I feel depressed and inadequate, but it actually might inspire somebody else. Somebody else might look at it and be sort of jealous, or they might be angry. But if it inspires them to say, well, I could do that, then it's worth my having shared it. And it makes me feel a little bit better to say, well, this picture makes it look like my life's pretty neat.
Your life is kind of neat. I'm sorry to say.
Well, so is yours. Your life is neat too, and we all have neat lives.
Everybody does
to an extent.
None of us really appreciate our own neatness.
Yeah, because even somebody who can take an amazing picture of a bug or a flower, I think, how do they take such an amazing picture? And sometimes it's just they were in the right place at the right time, and they wanted to share it. They wanted to share something. So
sharing is caring. Sorry, I don't know where that came from.
Could you
want me to shut the window now?
Yeah,
they're starting to howl.
Yeah, you read my mind on that one.
I'm just be nearing nap time.
Like I like kids. I mean, I don't like other people's kids, but I like my kids.
Me neither. By
and
kids, by other people's kids.
Well,
just kidding. You're all so cute. Why are they barefoot? That seems like it must violate some
answer this question. If you like kids, if you like your own kids, but you don't sort of like generic kids, then do you really like kids?
I don't know.
What's the bottom line?
Everyone thinks that I like kids, and I do, but
you appreciate them.
I do like kids, but this is what happened. Ever since I was like 11 years old, I watched kids because that's what kind of you do in a rural area. If you're a girl, you just
you were the oldest.
Babysit.
You were the oldest in your family.
Yeah,
too,
I never babysat my own sisters. They were so close to my age. But we live in a small town, and there's not that many teenage girls. So I babysat like every night for other people's kids since the time I was 11. And all my teenage summers, I worked at like summer camps, taking care of other people's kids. I was nanny. I was like a nanny for many different people over the years until I grew up. So I almost got like burnt out of raising kids. And then I took a few years off because I said, you know what? I want to have my own kids someday, but I don't want to like hate kids.
Yeah, you'd better sort of straighten that attitude. Have an attitude adjustment.
Then I went and worked at a school. That was stupid because I was like way more kids all at once.
That's way worse.
Yeah, but then I did just photography for a little while and kind of cooled it on the kids. Although mostly all I took pictures of were kids. And then I had my own kids, and I realized, oh wait, I didn't need to like take a break from kids because my kids are not like other people's kids. My kids are the most fabulous things that ever came across the face of the earth. But I do feel like maybe from too early on, I just took care of other people's kids. And it's kind of sad to take care of other people's kids because especially if you get to really, really, really love them and care about them, which I did for like every kid I nannied for, then they go back to their parents and like they kind of parent them differently. And it just feels like a waste of your time. I don't know how to explain it better.
No, but you can have such a big influence on children in a good way. Yeah. Even if they still get screwed up by their parents, they might...
I'm not saying their parents like screwed them up. I'm just saying we parented differently. I mean, I was parenting a kid who I didn't have to... I just had a lot of energy, and I didn't have to be with them at 24/7 either. You know, I'd go home at night, and their parents would take over. So, but then I'd see their parents be like being tired or grumpy. You're not, you know... I don't know.
You know...
I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah,
Forget it.
I think I understand. I do understand. And really... Besides my kids, there is a kid that I really like.
Oh, who?
My inner child.
Aww.
Does that qualify for liking kids?
Sure.
I mean, I'm actually trying to love... No, I love my inner child. It's my inner adult that I think I'm not so fond of all the time. I know,
mine is so lame.
They never talk about the inner adult, do they?
No.
Get that thing out of here.
I do want it out.
Get that thing out of here.
So cranky and boring.
I know. Hey, it's time for a track.
What already?
Oh, and this is so synchronicity.
That's not
a word. I was trying to come up with...
Grammatically incorrect, lady.
Well, I think it was synchronous, but that didn't sound right. So I sort of was trying to get back to synchronicity. I got to synchronicity.
This comes to us now,
like
with synchronicity.
Rhinocerosity.
Rhinoplasticity is when you have a nose job. Isn't it funny that anything referred to our nose in the medical world starts with a rhino?
That is really odd. Is there some connection, evolution?
Well, the rhino has a big, giant nose, but why are they referring to our nose as a rhino nose?
Well, their noses are in the same place where ours is.
So is every animal, pretty much. Well, no, not fish.
Yes, their fish are kind of the same.
They don't have noses, do they?
Oh, stop.
No, they have gills. They don't have noses.
Don't say that about fish.
I mean, unless you want to count that thing over their mouth as their nose.
What did a fish ever do to you that you're going to talk about fish like this?
I don't know.
Fish breathe through their gills.
Right, but do they smell? Can you smell underwater? Do mermaids?
I guess you can smell water. Water smells.
I don't know. This is very mysterious.
Here we're going down the road of misinformation again. So
why don't you play this song? Play the song.
But the very cool thing and where we started with this is that
extract ourselves from
it's
stupid
synchronous. Okay, I'm gonna hope and pray that this song comes up at the beginning, and it's called "Bully of the Town" by Highwoods String Band.
back from Tennessee, you know I won't allow no red-eyed rebel rascal to run me out of town. I'm looking for that bully of town. When I walk this levee round and round, every night I can be found. When I walk this levee round, I'm looking for that bully of town.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I guess that's a live recording right there.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
Sure
That's
sounded.
bootlegged. I believe my friend Lynn recorded that.
Cool. We were just talking about the flood. Did you get any flood up there? No. Maybe your pig poo all flooded away.
Yeah, that's a good segue to my personal growth Friday topic.
Good.
It's a real biggie.
Okay.
Well, it might, sometimes you think it's a real biggie and then you talk about it for about a minute and you're done.
Oh.
It just depends on how you respond to it.
Okay. Hit me.
So I came up with the name of a syndrome called the Sayers-Ellis syndrome, named after two of my favorite inspirations for the idea. And this involves, wait a minute, my level's down here. Okay. This involves when somebody does something really great for you that changes your life, and then in time they do something really bad to you that also changes your life.
Do those cancel each other out and they're just like neutral again?
Well, it's a confusing kind of friendship. You know, it's not really a friendship in the end, especially if the good thing comes first and the bad thing comes second.
Are they aware of what they're doing, or were these accidental things?
Well, that's the question. It's kind of the question is motivational. Like, why did they do that?
Sometimes, and I hate that I am suspicious of this, but sometimes you have to be. Sometimes I'm very suspicious when someone does something amazingly nice for me, because I wonder what strings are attached to it. Does that mean I have to have this feeling of they want me to, act like I owe them for the rest of my life? Or were there no strings attached? Were they just doing it to be nice? Or were they doing it because they want something from me? Or were they doing it, like, why?
Well, that's, yeah.
I wish I would not have to question, like, nice people's motives, because often nice people are just being nice, but...
Well, I think it's a kind of a more difficult issue when it's a big thing and it's somebody you don't know well. So you might not really fully understand their motivations, which is something that we have to deal with every single day, not quite understanding people.
I often just feel really, really guilty when someone does a nice thing for me. Like, I feel like I don't deserve it and I can't repay them their nice thing. I mean, I can be really, really nice, but if they did something really extra nice involving, like, say, money or something, that makes me feel so guilty. Grateful, but really guilty. Like, forever.
What are you going to do about that?
I don't know. I just don't feel like
what would
people should do nice things for me.
What would be bad if you just let that go?
I don't know. I feel like you have to reciprocate good things, or karma will get you.
But you do all the time. You do good things
like,
for people.
Specific, like, it just feels, I don't know. I can't quite let a good.
Well, think of it this way, though.
Go.
But if they do a good thing and it goes out into the universe and they've done a good thing, that all good things come back around. So they're going to get.
But I feel like it's my responsibility.
No, it's
to bring
not.
It back around.
That's karma. Karma's responsibility.
Well, not everybody believes that, so I feel like
maybe
they're waiting for me to return the favor, and if I can't for some reason,
Emily,
what?
get your Hinduism on, okay? Start.
There aren't a ton of Hindus around here, so I feel like people expect it when they give you
Well, it also gets
something.
you. It also gets you a little bit off the hook, feeling like you have to, for example, in a case where you feel like exacting revenge on somebody. Well, it's not necessarily your job, because fate will. When people do bad deeds, what goes around comes around. I have to say these.
No, I watched a program on Facebook the other day, and everything that you see on Facebook is true.
Glad you educated yourself. That's great.
It was actually quite good, though. It was the science behind like victim blaming, and it was people that believe that when bad things happen to people, they were deservedly happening. So it gets us all off the hook for like if somebody gets raped or something, instead of us saying like, how could someone do that to her? We twist our minds around to think that karma somehow made that happen. And that's why like we've got all these issues with
that's an oversimplification. That's an oversimplification of karma, the idea of karma. That's not what I believe.
I don't think it's kind of connected, and it freaked me out because I said, oh my God, to make some order in our life, we all kind of want there to be a reason for things. Like we don't like to just think that everything is randomness, like everything that's bad happens for a reason, everything good that's happening happens for a reason. We want to believe that there's a reason. So if we don't understand why something bad happened, we trick our minds into thinking like it was supposed to happen to that person because that person deserved it.
Well, I don't know who does that.
Well, I don't either, really, if we thought about it, but that's kind of what this study said that we all accidentally do. Well, that freaked me out.
I don't think because
I do. I always think that like if something bad happens to me, it was somehow my fault.
Well, then this article tied right into your predisposition to be biased against yourself and very ungenerous to yourself. So great. That article got, how many clicks did that article get? They got a lot of clicks from people like you.
No, that one was shared everywhere, and it was by a really good, I can't remember. Here comes the train. Do you want the window open again? The kids have all, I can open the window anyway, because the kids all went inside.
Okay.
And it's starting to get hot in here.
All right.
Oh my God, my dress is stuck to the chair.
I'm speechless. I can't believe this happens in a small town every day. that like heart-thrilling, heart-stopping event occurs and is available for free to anybody who wants to listen to it.
Can we get this like sound for your cell phone ring so that you can just like go home and like bliss out and listen to it all the time?
I wonder if I should do that, because you'd think, well, maybe the sound would sort of wear out. But bird calls don't.
Don't you think we get so we a little bit don't hear them though after a while, because they're just part of the
I would say there's times when we don't hear
us.
them, but then there's times when you wake up and your mind is fresh and you hear that blue jay call and it just goes straight to your heart and it takes you back about 50 years.
Yeah, I always get really excited when the chickadees switch from their winter call to the spring call. And it's just great.
Are you excited like mentally by that, or do you actually love to hear it?
Both.
Okay, so the idea is pretty cool.
Yeah, as I want spring, I'm always like, spring, come.
So and
they're like, guess what, it's coming.
That's nice.
I'm like, thank you, all wise little birds who know so much more than I and think that this winter will never end.
It's funny how we were talking about birds and we were actually talking about this whole idea of people stabbing you in the back, but we went to birds. We gravitated towards birds, and that's a nice topic to talk about. Yeah, no, I want to go back to backstabbing because I thought that was sort of an interesting thing. So, for example, in my life, right, so here's an example. Somebody sells me a house. My house, my incredible castle of a house, which I am forever grateful. And frankly, I have to be grateful to this person to have sold it to me, right?
Well, not really. I mean, they were looking to sell it and you happened to buy it. So I don't really think that there's a lot of gratitude that you need to be expending towards them right now.
That's the second part, which is what was their motivation. That there was self-interest involved, that it turned out it worked out really well for them to sell the house to me. It was good timing. I had the money, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So, but the same person then turned around and sold the house next door to mine, which they also owned, to a pig farmer. which has also affected my life severely. So that's an interesting case in point.
Were they extreme pig people back then?
No, they started out quietly with horses, and they built up to the pigs, and then they moved the pigs out to the property lines of their neighbors' property lines. Maybe they just didn't know.
Maybe it was an honest mistake. They had to sell to somebody. I don't know. This gets us into the sort of what's-his-face New Vista guy. Like,
right. There is a relationship here.
Everyone's getting angry at people who sell their property to this guy because they don't want him to come in. But some people, like, totally don't want that here. It's ridiculous. It's insane.
But you can't.
But I feel bad yelling at, like, really poor people who desperately need to sell their property, and, you know, it's not moving, and here's the guy offering them full value for it.
Oh,
like, what do? Do you, like, feed your kids, or do you hold out so that you can be politically
I agree.
Correct. I don't
in my
know.
case, this was not what was going on. This person was actually a lobbyist. He had enough money to probably wait and sell it to a better buyer. But that's okay. I'm not like trying to hash up an old
Were you people
issue.
Like friends?
Kind of. You know, it's kind of a mixed bag. There's a kind of quality to it.
I don't know.
But
I don't know what to say about all that.
Yeah. Well, here's another case. Okay, I have another cool case, which is that so this person hired me. He was a property manager, and he hired me to do a really big, beautiful gardening job at an estate, okay? Mm-hmm. And it was literally my bread and butter for a few years. It was that, you know, along with a few other jobs, it really brought in a lot of good income for me. And but what happened was the property got sold, and he stayed on as the property manager, and he kind of sort of led me through fixing the place up to make it look top quality for the sale, you know. Or actually to attract a buyer, and so then the house gets sold, and then suddenly he tells me that his wife is going to take over the gardening job, and she's not even a gardener, but he saw how lucrative it was, and without telling me, did the little switcheroo with the new owners.
Yeah, so, you see that kind of thing a lot, I would say.
Yeah, that was a good one. So that's another example of somebody who did. You know, I'm forever grateful that I got the job originally. Mm-hmm. But he sort of stabbed me in the back. Got to be ready for that stuff.
It's hard to say, though. Are you being stabbed in the back, or are you just inspiring someone else? Like, which is it? I've found, like, I teach a lot of things, and it's half really, like, awesome when one of my students goes off and starts teaching the thing that I taught them to do. And it's half kind of annoying.
Right.
Because I'm like, wait a minute, this is a small area. How many of us photographers or dance teachers or whatever can there be around here? But on the other hand, I'm like, maybe I just inspired them to do what they love too.
That's the copycat syndrome.
They don't know.
Copycat.
Not enough space around here for us all, but I guess there is. I don't know. Whatever. I do a lot of things. I'll just move on to something else.
It all comes out in the wash. I love that. I love the fact that it all comes out in the wash. It all does. It just all comes out.
Hate it when you put a Kleenex in your pocket, though, and then you forget about it when it's in the washing machine, and then then it's just disgusting. It's everywhere.
Bad.
And you can't get those little pieces off of, like fleece. You cannot get.
I know they don't even shake.
Kleenex
They don't even shake off.
No, it's like Velcro.
Yeah, I had something that happened to. I had to hang it outside for a year.
Hay doesn't really come off too, and whenever I'm giving all the creatures hay, like hay goes in my bra, hay goes in my pockets, and then you try to wash it and hay is everywhere. And it like clogs up your washing machine too.
Hey. Emily, cheer up.
Hey, there's a washing machine. No, I guess it was a dishwasher at the bottom of the stairs of our radio station this morning, I noticed.
That was a nice note on it.
It said, belongs to Magic Mountain, will remove soon, or something like that.
Yeah, with a smiley face.
Aw.
It made it all okay. God, what would we do without the smiley face? What would we do? Where would we be?
I don't know.
It would just be like gutter.
Did you ever do that trashy thing in the 80s where you put like a sticker in a shape on your body somewhere and then lay in the sun and tanned it on you like a little brand?
Nope.
Oh, all right.
Never did that. Never even heard that was done.
Yeah. Back before we all knew that like tanning was really bad for you. But so this week, it was sunny like one day. I didn't really that much either, but always for the first couple hot days of the spring, I would go out on my parents' roof because it just felt so good to like
But you would get burned with your light skin.
No, I don't. My skin tricks you. It looks like it's light, but it's actually not. My family doesn't really burn. But here's the funny thing. The sun is stronger now, and I will burn now. I never burned, ever, growing up. And I was painting some Adirondack chairs this week on that nice, lovely sunny day. Mm-hmm. So I was hunched over them, and I was just wearing a bathing suit top. Didn't really think about it. Mm-hmm. And then, at the end of the day, my bathing suit ties with a little bow in the back. Mm-hmm. And I have a bow, like, branded into my back. Like, a little bow.
Wow.
Forever. Like, it's white and the rest of me is red.
And you didn't even plan that art.
No.
And spontaneous art occurred.
It just brought me back to
And you don't even need to get a tattoo now because you have that.
I know. I hope it goes away. It's not what I would have picked. If I had to pick a tattoo, I would not have picked, like, a little bow.
I thought you might have.
No.
You kind of like girly stuff.
Yeah, but no, I don't. Not permanently on my body.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to ask you during the break here when we're playing a song, like what kind of tattoo you would like if you got one. But I'm going to play a track of music, and I believe this is Bo Thayer and the Perfect Trainwreck in the Pines. And let's see. Let's make sure it's at the beginning. Let's try it.
In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine, we shivered the whole night through. Little girl, what have I done to make you treat me so? You made me weep. You made me moan. You made me leave my home.
Yeah, good drums.
I like good drums.
You know who that is? It's got to be Jeff Berlin.
Oh, yeah.
Our fine friend.
Cool.
All right. I got so many topics. I don't even know where to start.
I just did want to tell you, though, that as of today, I've switched from eating corn pops to eating organic Frosted Flakes. So that's like a step.
That's a step. Good for you. It's like a 10-step program.
There's still a lot of sugar involved, but at least it's, fair trade and without genetic modification.
Yeah, I'm so impressed with you. I was going to make some remarks about spelt flakes myself.
Spelt flakes. Okay, we are not going that far. No.
No, I'm not suggesting. I mean, it is a 10-step.
It sounds like a type of stinky fish.
Look, I just have one thing that I want to say about spelt flakes as a substitute for corn flakes. They're just not good.
Good. I already sort of guessed
that feeling.
Anything named that stupidly.
Yeah, this is like getting through a box of cereal that you don't like. It's like finishing a book that you don't like. I
just don't. I don't finish the books I don't like.
I have like this much left of the spelt cereal, and I just want to ditch it. I just want to throw it away. But I feel
like chipmunks or something eat it?
Oh, they might. Yeah, I have a lot of chipmunks.
Yeah,
that's a great idea. I'll put them out.
Chipmunks will eat anything.
Okay, it's problem solved. We always solve our problems here on 11th Hour Radio that you've been listening to on WFVR 96.5 on your FM
You're
dial.
So sneaky slipping all that in there. We forgot to thank our sponsors, too, which are Mountain Folk, Vermont Grease Collective, and Howville Farms.
No, it's the Tunbridge Grease Collective.
What? How many grease collectives are there in the state?
There's one in Plainfield, Vermont, because
they don't count.
Ariel has her food truck up there on Fridays and Saturdays. You should go
Ariel has a food truck?
Oh my gosh, I
didn't know that.
It's got a beautiful mural on it that her friend
Ariel had a
Lainey
food truck.
did. Oh yeah, she makes all her stuff, and it's a lot of the food's grown on her farm.
Does she cater like big events?
Yeah,
with her food truck.
She might bring the truck out.
Okay. Ariel, we have to put you on our wedding list because I think that would be the coolest thing.
Oh gosh, she's the hippest caterer. I'm telling you, with her food truck, it's a pretty.
I've only got a couple hip caterers that we call on, and I didn't even know that she did that weirdly.
I'll show you later.
So many obvious things in life just slip my notice. Huh.
Yeah, well,
I feel today I have that really distinct feeling that I'm forgetting something super major.
I know. And
I don't know what it is.
I do.
I know my insurance agent is mad at me because we forgot to do something.
I know what it is.
What?
You need to go get jumper cables. Right?
Yeah, I don't have any in my car.
Yes.
It is starting to start hard. I think the starter's going.
I got a good deal on jumper cables up in Barrie, and
not at that just that fake crappy tool place, did you?
No.
Was it the ladders leading up outside there?
I've been there once and I didn't like them.
Those are plastic tools that break.
Well, I think they do have good tools there, but
no, they don't.
I just didn't like them. But the jumper cables,
Snap-on. I don't know what it is.
I got coupons in the mail from the auto place in Barrie on Summer Street, and it saved me a lot of money on my jumper cables.
I'm afraid of jumper cables. I saw my kid trying to start the tractor the other day, and I thought, oh, no big deal, it's a little tractor, but he practically electrocuted us all. So well, you have to make sure that the right one's on the right color. And
can I just tell you something?
Freak out about it so much.
You need to have them. You don't necessarily have to be the one to attach them. As long as you got some helpers who know how to do it.
It's just so confusing.
It's better to blow up your children than yourself.
No, it isn't. I'd rather blow myself up any day.
Yeah, just kidding. I didn't mean that. I really didn't. I did that once. I'm going to make a confession because I feel guilty about this.
You let your children almost be blown up? I thought my kid was doing this right, and we were all standing there, and he did actually do it right. He just accidentally touched one to something else before he clipped it on, so I freaked out and I was like, "You're never doing this again." I mean, he was doing it right. He just didn't realize that you can't touch.
Yes.
When you've got it partially connected, right. And he bumped the other piece into something else.
Okay. Yes.
So he wasn't being stupid. He knew how to do it, and John had made sure that he knew where to put it because we were trying to be super safe. It's just none of us thought to tell him not to touch anything else with it. And
anything with electricity,
I hate electricity.
It freaks me out and it freaks you out. So I was in Italy. I think I need to make this confession.
Okay.
I was in Italy and I had this hair.
How did you get there? Did you fly? You don't like to fly.
I know, but it's the last time I flew. It was a few years ago. And I had brought my hair straightener. And I had a plug that my brother had said was an adapter.
No, you can't plug those in there.
No, but he gave me an adapter.
He was a liar, wasn't he?
He travels all the time. He should know. He goes all. He travels.
Playing a joke on you?
How do you know it didn't work? Are you anticipating the conclusion of this?
I already know what happens in other countries when you try to plug hair things in.
Well, it was some kind of adapter, but it didn't work. And so when I plugged it in, the whole thing went pop. And you know how scary that is?
Yes.
Like you've just destroyed the thing, the electrical thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm kind of freaking out because I think what happens now, is it going to burn? Is it going to start to smolder and burn up?
And you don't want to
unplug it. You know what I did?
You don't want to touch it. What?
I asked my daughter to unplug it.
Well, she's got a younger heart. She could maybe withstand.
I don't know. It was just a lousy thing to do. I apologize to everyone.
That's
okay.
I
feel like I have to apologize to humanity for that.
My Aunt Dinah managed to nail 2 nails into a light socket when she was a little girl before she got zapped. And she's fine.
That doesn't make me feel better.
Sorry, I don't know. That has nothing also to do with what you're saying, but
yeah, well. We've all done some things that we're not proud of. That's one of my things.
I do often ask John to see if the electric fence is on or something, but not usually the kids. No, I did once. I did ask. But they like to touch the electric fence, and I don't because I hate electricity. Well,
can I just say that the electrical current in Italy might be a lot stronger that could actually kill you.
Oh, man. Did you do this in high school? In physics class, they had this thing called the Van der Graaf generator, and so they would turn it on and it generates electricity, and then they'd make people touch it and it zapped you. And then they do all kinds of experiments that were part of the curriculum. We all would have to hold hands across the room, and the lab would be about how the person on the end would get zapped the worst because it travels through you. And I got in trouble because I hate electricity so much that I refused to partake in this experiment because I didn't think it's ethical to cause people physical pain or bodily harm call that a lab.
Yeah.
So I stood on the opposite side of the room and watched, and they were all because when you're in the front, your hair all stands up, and that's kind of cool.
You are such a rebel.
No, but then, all the teenage boys in my class would be at the end, and, the line of kids holding hands would almost be able to reach me, and they would try to touch me to give me the bad zap, and I would scream, and everyone was laughing at me. And
that's why I hate school.
I freaking hate school.
Humiliating things happen all the time at school. That's all. They should just call it the humiliation place.
Yeah.
Because for some of us, that's what happens there.
I know.
And that it's not that we don't like learning, we just don't like being humiliated.
Science experiments too. You could splatter really bad chemicals on yourself. Why do they let us be near those? And of course there's always teenage boys who are just I'm going to throw this on your hair.
Yeah, I know.
They should just take the teenage boys away someplace else.
Right.
To educate them, like a zoo or someplace.
Well,
where they belong.
They should put them on a boat. And make them sail.
They should just start earlier in kindergarten so that the teenage boys don't become what teenage boys become because they suck.
Well, what would be good is actually to learn on a boat like Spencer Lewis did. He had a school. He was on a school where they sailed around.
That's nice.
And I think, boys and girls can do that together and become more decent human beings together.
Yeah.
But you got to get them out of the classroom. You got to get them in the weather and battling. I have a goal
to raise teenage boys that are not like teenage boys.
Yeah,
they're just so bad.
Yeah, you got a farm. That's good. That's a start. And there was a sheep takeover on Highway 200 out in Montana. Did you hear about that?
No. Was it a George Orwell-esque kind of?
Well, there was an earthquake, and so all the sheep the sheep went into the streets. I mean, there's one street. It's like population 4,500.
Yeah.
But it looks.
Did they cause a traffic jam, or they
Yep, they blocked the road.
That's okay. They can do that.
Yeah, I think it's great. I wish we could have a sheep takeover here in South Royalton. Even in Chelsea, it would be fun.
Well, you can come up to my farm, and the sheep take over quite regularly. In fact, they try to come into the house and take over everything.
Well, it's like the bridge project, you know.
Yeah.
It would just shut everything down. You'd have to take a detour, but it would be for sheep. I just like that better.
Sheep are great. You're not going to hear me complain about sheep.
No, I'm not complaining about sheep at all. I'm looking forward to the day that I can have them.
You would like sheep.
Yeah, I would, and I would need a helper. So
you want one? You can have one of my sheep. She doesn't fit with everybody else.
Well,
she needs to go someplace else.
It all might start with one pregnant one, but I need a helper. I need a helpmate. I need to get married again so I can have sheep.
That's the dumbest reason I ever heard for getting married.
That's not a bad reason.
I got married so I could have sheep, but the sheep were already there. The sheep came with the marriage.
This is true. That's your true confession. We both have a true confession today.
I faked an interest in sheep when I was interested in
now
my husband.
You're actually
and now I actually do like them so very much.
Isn't that life? That is so
Although,
life-ish.
I gotta say, why does everyone who doesn't have animals think that goats and sheep are the same thing?
They do
everybody,
not.
Everybody sends me goat videos. Like, haha, Emily thought you'd like this. And I'm like, I hate goats. Why are you sending this goat video? Because they think goats are sheep. I'm like,
okay, well, I'm glad you...
Didn't you go to kindergarten? Didn't you have those board books that said, like, sheep, goat, dog, duck?
Emily.
Yes, Christina?
Slow down. We have to stop the show. And I don't really care about this problem. Okay, I'm over it.
You will when you get married and have sheep.
Well,
then you'll care.
No, it's going to be different for me.
Okay.
Okay, mark my words, you'll see. So, okay, we're going to go on a track of music, Jesus on the Mainline by Turnip Truck. And if you want to hear the whole thing, because it's going to get cut off, come to our podcast. Get our podcast on iTunes.
11thhourradio.com go there.
You want to.
Of course they want to.
Yeah.
You guys have a nice weekend.
Have a great weekend. We will see you next week.
Yeah.
Jesus is on that main line. Tell him what you want. Jesus is on that main line. Tell him what you want. Now, Jesus is on that main line. Tell him what you want. You can call him up and tell him what you want. Now, the line ain't never busy. Tell him what you want. The line ain't never busy. Tell him what you want. I said that line ain't never busy. Tell him what you want. You can call him up and tell him what you want. Tell me, Peter. If you're sick and you want to get well, tell him what you want. If you're sick and you want to get well, tell him what you want. I said, if you're sick and you want to get well, tell him what you want. You can call him up and tell him what you want. Now if you're feeling down and out, tell him what you want. If you're feeling down and out, tell him what you want. Now if you're feeling down and out, tell him what you want. You can call him up and tell him what you want. His kingdom, tell him what you want. Well, if you want his kingdom, tell him what you want. Now if you want his kingdom, tell him what you want. You can call him up and tell him what you want. I said Jesus is on that main line, tell him what you want. Jesus is on that main line, tell him what you want now. Jesus is on that main line, tell him what you want. You can call him up and tell him what you want. You can call him up and tell him what you want. One more time. You can call him up and tell him what you want.